All right, and so what we're looking at is a map of GDP per capita by nation, right? And so what we're seeing today is that these poorer nations, they have promoted failed ideologies. They have bred themselves to the point of starvation, right? And what they are teaching in their nation is not working. It is failing. It has failed, right? And so they have bred themselves to the point of starvation. And this is a map of starving nations, right? I looked up Iran. Iran has a starvation rate of about 50%. And so what we're seeing is that these nations that are often much poorer, promoting failed ideologies, uh, they're often also highly violent, right? People don't want to live there because the crime is very, very high statistically, right? And so the UK is a great example of this, right? Because what you're seeing is failed starving nations with huge populations trying to take over successful nations. Now, the successful nations have developed the means to protect themselves, but right now we're not really seeing uh, these nations deploy the means to protect themselves. What we're seeing is the UK being conquered. And so, right, once you've promoted these failed ideologies in your nation and the nation has begun to destabilize and fail, you really have no other choice except to invade and conquer other nations, which is what we're seeing take place in the UK today. They're too chicken to call it war. They're at war whether they like it or not. That's how war works. Uh, uh, Understanding that, right, this is the people who are fleeing the UK, and there are a lot of them, right? Uh, this stems from uh, democratic nations being forced to remain politically correct, right? Well, today, politically correct means pretty much you're stupid. And so understanding that is very important when you're trying to analyze what's taking place in the world today and what we're seeing take place in the UK, right? This is actually a much larger problem than most people want to acknowledge because if they are successful in taking over the UK, the UK will become a global threat because then what's to stop the UK from deploying its nuclear arsenal against the surrounding nations? And so what we're seeing is an interesting dynamic where uh, ruling today no longer means ruling just only your nation. It also involves eliminating threats that are emerging to your nation, which we're seeing in the Israel-Iran conflict today. Again, right? Politically correct, it means you're stupid, just so you know. Uh, we're seeing also uh, one of the roots of this problem is that in democratic nations, right, you can't talk about these issues because if you talk about these issues, this video obviously being not politically correct, if you talk about these politically incorrect issues, well, then they'll label you with some power word like you're a racist, i.e., I have power over you because you're a racist, right? And that's what it boils down to. People trying to gain power, which is very common for all people of all nations to do, right? It's part of mankind's nature. We want power, right? And how people pursue that is very, very different. Uh, the successful means of pursuing power becoming successful and unsuccessful means of pursuing power, often, right, dictatorships, tyranny, things like that, failing, right? And so, right, what we're seeing take place in today is that politicians cannot address these politically incorrect issues, and so they often grow into large issues. And if you address them right, people won't vote for you because you're not politically correct.